Artificial intelligence raises Ukrainian drone kill rates to 80%. Then, fully autonomous swarms of drones will be the scariest thing in the world and are rapidly approaching. Tiny bombs that can hunt you down and chase you. And flashback to 20 years ago. This is the most terrifying future headline ever. Aimbot IRL? Air. I don't like where this is going. Soon these technologies will be fully autonomous and available for everyone. And, even if there is no evil self-aware AI controlling these drones, the attacks against civilian targets are going to become commonplace. Oh boy, slaughterbots. https://youtube.be/9fa9lbwhhqg C equals SJFWQAA2TAYF7HPV. Welp, the new war meta dropped for the next 20 years. Days after Russian Marines murdered 9 Ukrainian prisoners. Ukrainian paratroopers are looking for revenge. And finding it. Killing prisoners is just the dumbest thing you can do. It means the enemy is less likely to surrender, since they will feel they have the choice between dying or fighting and maybe not dying. It also means the enemy is more likely to kill prisoners in revenge or refuse surrender and fight to the death. It just means more of your side dies. Ukrainians are literally fighting for their lives. As we can see, Russians don't always take prisoners. And when they do, they treat them terribly. I hope the Ukrainians find justice. I hope the Russian murderers experience karma. The title and article is intentionally misleading. David Axe suggests that Ukrainian soldiers took revenge by executing Russian soldiers based only on that they ambushed them, and the author hasn't seen evidence they took prisoners. We don't know if there was an opportunity to take prisoners. We don't know if anyone tried to surrender. We don't even know if there were prisoners taken or not. That doesn't stop the author from adding, greater than isolated cases of bloody revenge don't amount to a coordinated military strategy. Of course, Ukrainian paratroopers may strike back at small groups of Russian Marines. But that doesn't mean they'll defeat the whole Russian force. Again, there is zero evidence for a single case of bloody revenge, but the author is now talking about a coordinated military strategy. And of course it's important to point out that it won't defeat Russia. Greater than since last week's atrocity, imagery of which was widely shared on social media. The Ukrainian 82nd and 95th Air Assault Brigades, respectively holding positions southeast and southwest of the 155th Naval Infantry Brigade's own positions in Kursk Oblast, have ambushed Russian Marines, greater than if the Ukrainian brigades took prisoners. There's no evidence of it. There is evidence they killed at least a few 155th Naval Infantry Brigade Marines. However, the same fate will await other soldiers from this brigade, the Ukrainian Air Assault Forces stated. I don't know if Forbes are intentionally spreading Russian propaganda and why they would do so. But news business is struggling, so there is a strong reason to suspect that $1 million paycheck from Kremlin could have helped both them and David Axe to overcome any moral qualms. I think one of those guys said that all acts of war are crimes against humanity, but you don't escalate violence against prisoners because you may one day be captured. Don't spit into the wind and don't anger a battalion of paratroopers. UN peacekeepers in Lebanon will not give in to Israeli demand to get out of harm's way. The comments here again. Where was all this backbone and determination against Hezbollah? Should have sent the Chinese peacekeepers. They would have noped the fuck out weeks ago. https www.humanrightsvoices.org/articles/un-peacekeepers-refused-to-help-as-raped-and-sue. Sudan report. It's a weird decision, as I don't understand what they aim to do there. But I gotta say, A great deal of people in these world threats have a disturbing way of thinking, because they are useless. It's okay to be aggressive towards them? I genuinely don't understand this. Tell them to shoot back. I simply do not understand the mindset that attacking and killing these individuals is justified. Because the organization they work for is useless. U.S. threatens Israel. Resolve humanitarian crisis in Gaza or face arms embargo, report. I'm not seeing this being reported elsewhere. Yet, until other news sources pick it up, I remain skeptical. Original Hebrew source at https://www.mako.il/news-diplomatic/2024_Q4/article-5 CDA 5C61E0092911027.htm https://www.mako.il/news-diplomatic/2024_Q4/article-5 CDA 5C61E0092911027.htm The U.S. threatens Israel. Resolve the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, or we will impose an arms embargo. Translation. The U.S. sent a clear message to Israel, according to which the humanitarian crisis in the Gaza Strip must be resolved within a month. And if not, an arms embargo will be imposed on it. N12 learned today, Tuesday, a letter to ministers Ron Dermer and Yoav Gallant, where the demand was conveyed, in accordance with Israel's commitment in March 2024 to allow and not prevent the transfer of American humanitarian aid or aid supported by the administration in Gaza. The State Department must conduct an audit in accordance with the aid law, it said. The administration expressed deep concern over the deterioration of the humanitarian situation in Gaza in recent weeks, and raised a demand to see urgent steps within the next month in order to reverse the trend. The Americans point out that since the promises made in March, the lowest amount of aid entering the Strip was recorded in September. In order to change the negative humanitarian trend and in accordance with its promises, Israel must take concrete steps within 30 days. Failure to implement these steps may lead to consequences for the policy of the United States in accordance with American law. The foreign aid program to Israel, arms embargo. Even if you are a die-hard Israel supporter, you should still support pressure on Netanyahu to resolve Palestine in a peaceful and dignified way. There will never be peace in the region as long as it remains in limbo. Maybe this will sway some of those Jill Stein voters. We will make arms embargoes, while sending missile defense systems and troops along with it. Lol, okay. I'll believe it when I see it.